Hello, Cancer. This is a reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the month of October 2019. That's the intention of the reading, but if you're a cross watcher, if you have X planet in Cancer, or whatever, for whatever reason you're watching this video, even if it's not October 2019, I don't care. I don't care. I really do not. Literally, that means nothing to me. I'm not the police here to, check your birth chart. The birth chart police to see, is this tarot reading for you or not. This tarot reading is for you. I think that you'll be able to discern that with your own intuition, and I encourage you to use your own discernment and intuition when you're getting this reading to decide what messages are for you, because this is a general reading. I'm only capable of getting so many messages. I don't want to read every Cancer out there. I know that there's some fucked up Cancers out there, and I don't want the responsibility, even if all of you were angels. And this is just a conversation, This information may or may not help you. Maybe it may make you feel more valid. Maybe it'll help you see things a different perspective. It's certainly not a replacement for professional help. I encourage you to seek professional help if that's possible for you. And yeah, Cancer. At this time, it really feels that you are feeling majestic, but at the same time, it feels like you're kind of bored, and not really bored with like your life. Like, again, you feel majestic, so I feel like it's like you feel that you've leveled up, and that's probably true, but it feels like the things around you haven't yet changed, and you're like, well, I'm running out of gas because I don't want to be driving on this, I don't want to be driving on this road with a bunch of idiots, because I know how to drive now. I don't want to be around these dummies. It's like I've leveled up. I want to move away from all this stuff, and it's kind of like you set an intention. Then you set prayers or done spiritual spells, stuff like that, to actually get something. And you're just, you're waiting for this to actually happen. It's like, where is it? It's kind of like, it's not that you're impatient, but you've been very patient. It's like, well, my patience has been rewarded, so I'm kind of thinking of changing my plan. Alright, let's get into the cards. So, let's see what is coming in for Cancer. What opportunities, energies, environments, people, places, things are coming in during the month of October for Cancer. And what opportunities, people, places, things, environments, situations are entering Cancer's, or leaving Cancer's life in October 2019. That's 2 cards, please. Go back there. Boop. Boop. Okay, bottom of the deck we have the 7 of Wands, which shows me there's kind of like a tug of war here. It's a tug of war with yourself. That's what I feel. I feel this is like an issue with yourself. Like, do I want love, or do I just want superficial connections? Do I want love, or do I want to just chase a bag? It's like, and you also feel like, well, if I have to fight tooth and nail for things, then I'm always going to be defensive and antsy and like kind of annoying. And I don't want to be antsy and annoying. I want to be happy, so I don't really want to fight with people on things, and that might lead you to be a pushover. That might put you in situations where you are a pushover, or you are overbearing, and you are pushies, and you don't even realize that how quickly people just fucking turn that button on for you, like the bitch button just turns on. And it's not really like, I really don't, it's not entirely your fault, because there are people antagonizing you. There are situations coming in that are antagonizing, and it does feel like you have to be defensive in some situations, and you have to kind of be like, no, this is what I deserve, and like, this is what I'm gonna get, and if you're not gonna give it to me, I'll find somebody else. But with the King of Wands coming in, I want to know more, because this person is definitely very elusive. Like, they aren't showing completely okay. They're very elusive. Like, I don't want to say that they're a game player, but it's very difficult to understand like who they are. They're so free and like expressive, that it's hard to understand which expressions are authentic to them, or they're just like, blurts of their subconscious mind. And like, I guess that does say something about those people, but not entirely. It feels like there's a lot of decisions for you to like step up to the plate and be productive in a way where you are kind of like gaining attention or gaining recognition for your work, but some people mistake that as you just saying random shit and then they start to attack you, or you're around people that are getting recognition when you're more qualified than them, and you might be afraid to speak up, or if you do speak up, you're for some reason mistreated. So we have King of Wands clarified by Two of Swords or Justice. This deck it has like dual meaning, sort of. So I think there's a lot of situations here coming up where you just take on a certain amount of responsibility, and part of that is trusting your intuition, which is there, but another part of that is like, it's like this fight between your intuition and your ego. There's that part of the situations coming up are about your intuition and your ego, and part of these situations are like new changes. Like you want changes and you want to make them concrete. So like these changes could be contracts, could be moving, stuff like that. Like really really big things, and you're trying to figure out how can I be free, how can I be me, but also make these moves, also make these contracts, because I know what direction I want to go, but I'm not sure if I'm actually capable of taking that direction. So it's like these are situations where you're like scoping out these decisions that you're gonna make to maintain your freedom, but to expand your options, your resources, the things, your daily life, your routines, your lifestyle, where you live, what you're doing, etc. Stuff like that. And I think that there's a lot of energy coming in where there are people that are offering things to you, and this could absolutely be a fire sign coming into your life, or even a Libra, but I'm more seeing this as a situation where you're trying to perfect things. You're trying to like really refine stuff in your life, and you're trying to clean up some loose ends, tie those loose ends, and kind of clean up your room. More spiritually, like cleaning up things and making them really pretty and good. Like you kind of have a real goal here, and I think that goal is kind of coming into fruition, or you're learning how to get that goal, or you're finding somebody that's going to give you that goal. I think there's a lot of situations where you can either choose to stay kind of slowly but surely getting there, or you can choose to really step up and people recognize you for that massive leadership. And Cancer is a leader. Don't get it twisted. What's leaving is the Star, so it's like the Star or the Seven of Pentacles. So the time is now. This like, I need to wait, I need more money, I need more time, I'm not ready for this change. Like the time for change is now, and it's almost like the destruction has already happened. It's almost like there's a situation where you see so multi-dimensionally that it's like you've looked at things at so many perspectives. It's like maybe you haven't looked at every perspective, but it's pretty much exhausting at this point to think about it anymore, or to envision a change. It's like, I'm ready for action, and I'm ready to start making a decision, and it feels like that's what's going to happen. It feels like you're making a decision to change something, specifically something pretty big in your life, something that if you aren't sure if you're capable of doing. Probably you haven't done it before, or somebody else has done it for you, and it could be an offer from somebody, and it's like there's an opportunity where you're being vulnerable, but not vulnerable in that you don't know if this is going to work out, like you don't have a backup plan. More so vulnerable that like a risk-taking vulnerable, like willing to take a risk to get what you want, which is good. That's just how people succeed, right? And if you do have to play tug of war, man, fuck them. I know Cancer's gonna stand up for themselves. They better. What challenges are coming in for Cancer in the month of October? And what does Cancer learn during this month of October, please? Also, tell me signs to pay attention to for Cancer. Well, on the deck is Ten of Pentacles. A happy home is a happy life. And maybe that's not a physical home, but it's a place. It's a place where it's a place in your mind, a place in your heart, a place somewhere. It doesn't have to be physical. It's a place somewhere where you have a lot of support. Maybe the support is your ancestors. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's a friend group that is like family to you. Maybe it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, they friend. I don't know. I don't know where home is. I don't know how you make home. But it's really important that you have home when you're facing these challenges. Okay? Start with the signs to pay attention to, which is the Ace of Cups. First of all, pay attention to rain. Pay attention. I think there's some significant things happening to you during rain, and there's some significant realizations about self-love and about boundaries with people, because you are very caring for other people, and I think that during the rain, or maybe even during a time where you're moping or just feeling a little bit down, you start to realize something about love and love in your life and stuff like that. But pay attention to the relationships that are budding this month, because there is a lot to grow upon, but it can easily just fall to the ground and disperse after that initial flow, I guess. Challenges you face is the Jack of Cups or Jack of Hearts. This could be a person in your life, and that person could be a water sign, or they could be on around Pisces and Aries, late March-ish. This could be just a challenge. This could be a challenge with offering creativity to other people and feeling mature in your emotions, feeling valid in your emotions. It could be really challenging for you to trust your intuition, or your emotions could get in front of your intuition. This is also kind of like struggling with duality, like struggling with understanding, like the two different parts of yourself, and like how maybe moody isn't a good word, but like how I don't like mutable either. I don't know. I think that this challenge relates to how you utilize both sides of yourself, and finding a way to honor your creativity, honor your emotions, honor your intuition, all individually, and not getting them all mixed up together. And if they get caught up together, they kind of create knots, and then they don't work as well. None of them work as well, so they kind of have this like chain, this domino effect on each other that makes the emotions more intense, more painful even, and it makes the intuition more clouded or more confusing or more delusional, and it makes the creativity less encouraged and less fulfilling and less easy and more demanding, more perfectionist-y. The lessons that you learn is the Jack of Wands or the Jack of Clubs. I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned about how people teach you to act. Um, People are manipulative, and I don't mean to say this. Leave all the people around. There's manipulative people around you, and create anxiety in you. People are manipulative. Manipulation. We just do it. We do it to change outcomes. Okay, and people are manipulative, and it's just a fact. People are good at manipulating. They manipulate situations. They manipulate people. Yada yada yada. I think learning that manipulation is kind of a part of life, and learning how people teach you to treat them a certain way. And what does that say? If you continue a relationship where someone's teaching you to treat them like they're better than you, what does that say about you? And not to shame anybody, it is very difficult to leave situations like that when they start off so good. Even if they don't start off so good, they can manipulate you to think that, if you leave, you'll be a bad person or something like that. But it's like learning how people teach you how to treat them. And when they teach you how to treat them, they say a lot about who they are or what they look to have with you in a relationship. This is also about your ambition and learning how to use your ambition in a way that brings you a lot of joy and rewards. And those rewards might just be happiness and healthiness. Like having a real drive and motivation and like really being able to chase after the things that you love. Or that might be a literal reward. That might be learning to understand how to use sexual energy even in a creative way and being able to recycle that energy like kundalini type stuff. And just being able to revitalize yourself and being able to have a childlike way of approaching things when it comes to your motivation, your passion, and your sexual energy, and of course your relationships. I think it's learning a lot how to work. Like here it's a challenge to listen to yourself and to hear yourself. There's that wound, there's those wounds that we want to hear, and there's also that warning that if we don't listen to, we might get hurt again and we might be more wounded. And there's also that need for creativity. Humans create. We have to. Right? Creation is so important to life itself. And then this is like exploring that creation and exploring the motivation that brings, exploring that fire that starts, that brings the light to this creativity, that brings the light to this art, that allows these emotions to come through, that allows the interaction between two things. It's really learning to interact with other people and be more childlike, and kind of going to be more discerning and quick to make your decisions, more fiery leader like making snap decisions. Also learning to be quicker, more tactful, learning to practice things, especially for some of you. What are actions to the benefit? What are actions that Cancer is taking to the benefit of their highest good and their goals, the things they're working towards? What are actions to the detriment of their highest good, their goals, and the things they're working towards in the month of October, please? on the deck we have the 4 of diamonds or 4 pentacles. Did you know that 50% of people, I don't know how true this situation is. I heard it from Russell Brand, so I don't know how reputable that source is. So take it with a grain of salt. That's what I'm doing. But he said 50% of people that break up, get in a breakup, are cyber stalking their ex. 50%. That's like, I think that was after 6 months or a year. But I have no idea how reputable that is. But that just comes to mind right now. Because, as you can see, this Adventure Time looking motherfucker is looking right through that window. And, he's there for a number of reasons. Because he talks about how we let people project fear and the evil eye onto us about how we're going to succeed. And we allow those projections and those feelings and those words to control us. We allow those to stop us from being public and making business moves and doing what we actually are fulfilled by. We do allow that sometimes, and it's okay. There's no shame in it. We just have to realize what's happening and see if that's really how we want to continue, right? And it's also really important that, yes, we enjoy creativity, we enjoy our emotions, we make them valid. But we don't want to just associate our favorite songs, our favorite things with a lost connection. And I know it's really hard. I know it can be really, really hard for some people. And that's okay. We just want to be aware that that's something that we don't want to continue. We don't want to add to that habit. That habit takes away from our power. It takes away from us moving towards where we want to. Action to our benefit shows up as the Nine of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. So we're kind of deconstructing our fears. We're realizing that our fears are valid, and we're learning to work on those fears, and we're learning actually to rekindle them and realize where we went wrong in the past. There's some real self-critical stuff, and some of that self-critical is not too critical. I think it's enough awareness, just enough to really check in on yourself and see why am I worrying about this, and really work on it and really learn how to manage that and not let it get in the way of your work. And really coming to a place where you're on it. You feel very grounded, very supported, you're really going towards that success that you've been looking for, and that's really good. I think that's really good for you, Cancer. I really enjoy that energy for you. I definitely think that there's a real calmness and a real effort to maintain your calmness and your peace and not allowing other people to give you a lot of shit. And stepping back, giving things time, honoring your fears but not letting them control you. I think that's really powerful. And actually, to your detriment is the Ace of Swords and the Fool. So it sounds like it's when we get these cards, we want to ask ourselves: Are we telling ourselves the truth? Are we acting within our truth? Are we taking those risks that are gonna do what's best for us? Or are we just taking risks because we feel a need to take a risk? Or are we just taking risks because for an outcome? Are we taking risks because we feel obligated to? Are we taking risks because we have nothing to lose when we really think we do have something to lose? It's really about, if you're taking the risks, Are they something that really align with your truth, with your integrity, with what you really find empowering? And when you take those risks, or when you cut out situations, when you isolate, when you go deep and remove people, places, things from your life, what does that actually do for you? And if you are actually going to take these actions, there's really no reason for you to overanalyze and critically think about all the different outcomes that could have happened. Because you kind of took that risk. You kind of chose a path that was integrity. It worked with your integrity. It was true and honest. So why are you second guessing? And then why are you isolating and hiding from the world after you've taken this risk? It's like one foot out the door and 1 foot in. You gotta walk out that building, out of the air conditioning into the wild. Tell me about love for Cancer. Tell me about love for Cancer. Tell me about love for single Cancers, 2 cards for singles. Tell me about love for Cancers in a relationship, 2 cards for those and Cancers in a relationship. And tell me 1 card for Cancers in a situationship. Now, if you're in a situationship and you're looking for a relationship and you're not willing to communicate that, or if you have communicated that and nothing has changed, it's time to leave. I don't care what the cards say. The situationship card is for people who are actually interested in friends with benefit connections, and they know how to communicate that, and it's a healthy thing for them, and it's consensual and all that. It's not 2 people butting heads about what their relationship should be, or one person has feelings, another person doesn't, or one person gets used, or I don't care what. There's a million situationships. Okay, this is for the ones that actually have good communication. If it's not good communication, you don't need cards. You just need to leave. You need to go towards a situation that you deserve of loving and strong connection that you deserve and you can have. Okay, so if you're not getting it from this person and they're not changing and you communicated that you want change, then it's time to move on. I think that you guys are incompatible. At the bottom of the deck we have the 8 of Swords or Justice, and sure, justice talks about balance and contracts that we have with other people. Sometimes about karma, but karma's not really what people think it is. It's really related to our habits and our lifestyle and what type of situations result because of that. So, I think that there's sort of like this stickiness in love where it's either you're saving or you want to be saved, or you just feel stuck, you feel blind, you feel like you run into the same situations, or you just run into situations that you're not interested in at all. I think there's a real need to take a step back because there's a lot of overthinking about relationships, but there isn't really that much trust in your intuition. And it doesn't even feel really that there's much feelings. For those of you that are not in relationships, it doesn't feel like there's very much feelings that you have about relationships. Just like thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and, reprogramming yourself almost. And that can be really blinding. I admire that you're recognizing things that could be toxic or dangerous to your love life, but some of that stuff is blinding to your intuition, and at the end of the day, I think that your intuition can tell you a lot about the love that's entering your life and the love that you need in your life and whether or not somebody's compatible with you. We have the Eight of Cups. This is for singles still. Eight of Cups and the Jack of Diamonds. This could be a long distance thing showing up. This Eight of Cups says that recent past, moving away from recent past. This is also the moon, so that tells me that I think that's walking away from recent past partners, or somebody could have been trying to court you, or you were trying to court somebody else, but you kind of figured out, yeah, it's not worth the work, and I don't think we're even compatible in the first place. I think this is like finding somebody that has like very more traditional values, and they may be a writer or a poet. This person has a way with words, and I do think that they have an offer for you, but it really depends on how you're feeling in your home and emotionally, because there could be some things going on with your platonic relationships where kind of there could be a weird gray line with this person in your platonic relationships. Like there could be conflict between your friends and this person, or this person could be a friend and they want to be in a relationship, and that feels kind of weird. And there's just like a weird energy here, and this would also be a work thing, which I definitely disagree with. Don't shit where you eat. And I think there's opportunities for singles, but most of them seem to be like pen pals, like online stuff, and there's a lot of journaling here. Like there's some real manifestation energy and like perfectionist stuff, which I absolutely think you can capitalize on. Actually, I think that like if you have a very specific goal and you if you are acting in the right way with your spells and your magic and your prayer and affirmation and stuff like that, I think you're totally capable of manifesting this. But you might find out that it's not what you want, or you might find that it's really fulfilling to you, and it might take a lot of strength for you to leave behind something more superficial. In your relationship, we have the Ten of Hearts, aka the Wheel of Fortune, and the World. Okay, that's what's up. You guys are not really moving. Well, there's learning, and there's expansion, and there's success. So, I mean, do I need to say more? I guess, yeah, because there is happiness here, but there's also, like, cyclical things. So you guys are kind of stubborn with each other. This could be a move in and, like, getting really comfortable with each other. It could be too comfortable with each other. And this could also be, some financial agreements between the two of you, or some investments, making investments together. There's definitely some money themes here and some learning themes here and growing and investing in things. I think there's also some family stuff going on here too. But if you're in a relationship right now, it looks very good. It looks like there's a lot of success there and a lot of expansion. So really, I don't know what else I could say. Situationship showing up to the Five of Cups. A situationship with your ex is like kind of scuffed. Like I wouldn't do that. I really discourage you from like going from being in a relationship with somebody to being in a situationship with that person, because I think that's really gonna take a toll on your emotions, and it's gonna kind of make you feel really weird or exhausted, or it's gonna take a lot of energy from you. I think there's a big change in this situationship, and that might be a good change. That might be like an offer from this person, maybe. I mean, like I said before, don't expect an offer when you've already communicated it. But if you guys haven't communicated and you do communicate, like maybe there is an offer there. The Five of Cups is usually pretty grim though. It's like looking at over its spilled milk. Like this situationship has changed. There's some kind of intimacy though. Two of Hearts or Two of Clubs. The Sun. Okay, this is good. This is good. Still playing tug of war though. There's some happiness if you're willing to fight for it. Okay, that's all I'll say about that. you get what you fight for in that situation, and whether or not you want to fight for it is up to you. That is your reading, Cancer. I hope that you enjoyed your reading. Leave me a like, a comment, a subscription below. I appreciate all your feedback. I love you all so much. Have a wonderful day, week, month, year, whatever. You can find my social media down below. Follow my Instagram for daily, weekly polls. You can also donate to me if you appreciate these readings and want to keep them coming. I will put my Twitch stream down below. I stream there sometimes. And my email, if you don't have social media, you can shoot me an email or DM if you would like a reading personally. I think that's it, and I will see you all next time. Thanks so much for watching.